Okay, we're recording. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the newest installment of Opinions Are Stupid. I wish I could have my music on right now because
Right.
that track I made is pretty hot. I'll say that.
No, it's
I made that track.
it's
That's right, me. I made
because
it. SoundCloud Zeus.
look at you, you're like mixing stuff. When's the mixtape coming out? Is my question.
It's go to SoundCloud. You can hear all my shit. I'm actually I'm sorry, guys. Gotta get comfortable. Oh, should have done this before. I bought like an app on my iPad that lets you like loop beats and stuff, right? So I was
Right,
like,
right.
hey, it's pretty cool. And I made a whole lot of shit. And then like I realized maybe I should just get myself I should buy a system and start doing stuff so I can make drops and whatever. And I was like,
Right, right.
$20. I got two places to pay for right now.
This is how Kanye started, my friend.
That's right.
Just what you're doing right now.
What'd you do this summer? I made beats.
Exactly.
All right,
And
so
now he saw his documentary for like 21 million. That's gonna be you, baby. I see it.
Yeah.
I see it in your
Fuck,
future.
documentary with 21 million. Fuck that guy in his fucking sneakers. Yeah. Hate that dude, man. I gotta tell you, all right. So Kanye has issues. If he doesn't get on his medication, shit happens.
Right.
He hasn't been on his medication for a while. Like, all the shit that he did
Like
with Trump.
years, like years. Right.
All the shit he did with Trump last year was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway.
Even Kim was like, "This is a little too crazy for me." Kim Kardashian. That's when you know you got problems. She's like, "I'm bailing."
She's got a big wad of cash. So, I don't
So
know
what's
if
on
we
your
made
mind? I saw a long docket of things that you were interested in. A long docket of things.
a long, wide docket. Uh, okay. So we almost didn't get on again because of technical issues. For some reason, my Mac Mini, which I love, does not like to get on the internet. On my internet, the flavor of the internet that I have in this house, it does not like. It's like so. Not cool. So big week in politics, but I don't want to talk about politics right now.
Not yet.
Not yet. Big week though. Big week. Especially with Tucker Carlson. That guy's out of his mind.
Is he really? Is he really?
I think that he's all right. We can, all right. Yeah. But I want to talk about, I don't know if you saw this. Did you see Falcon and Winter Soldier this week?
I did.
Okay. So there's a couple of things that happened that I thought was very interesting. First of all, the theme, the arc of the show seems to be about, and I don't know about if it's social justice as so much as, hey, the Marvel Universe also has a problem with race.
Right.
Right? Or the MCU also has a problem with race. And here's our ongoing issue with race, right? So the ongoing issue with race is Falcon gave up the shield because it wasn't his shield. And there is this feeling to me of imposter syndrome, right?
Right.
That idea that you're not good enough. I have, a lot of people a lot of the brownies attempt to have that issue because we're undervalued in the society. Now, you could say, no one undervalues anybody. You're out of your mind. I don't see color. Well, I mean, I got lucky when I was growing up that I had a good school. Like PS94 was a good school. It was a good school.
Right.
You went to
And it was
PS94.
right up the block.
I went to PS94.
It's right up the block. Right.
My brother went to PS94. Didn't help him, but he went to PS94. He did. It didn't. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
No offense. He just didn't. David just didn't like school and reading. That's the truth.
Right.
It's, unfortunately.
But he's a smart guy in many respects, which is crazy.
Very intelligent young man.
He really is.
Very intelligent. But
any young lady would love to have him.
don't tell that to his wife.
Exactly.
What's wrong with you? No, but seriously, he's a smart dude, and he's just not into book learning.
Right.
Which is what it is. I mean, whatever. But PS94 was right at the block. It was a great school, and I felt valued there until I hit about fifth grade when the Italian kids wanted to beat my ass all the time, which I didn't understand because I was like, what the fuck? But
Right.
yeah, so there's a toad, a thing of racism that goes through and that goes through life in the big city. I mean, I try my best. You work through it, whatever. But the idea
Right.
of being less because of your skin color is something that's ingrained in, you know, brown people, Latinos, blacks, and whatever. Yellow people
And
too.
by the way,
Their society is
to add to
different.
that, to add to that, because we were like the first generation, our parents didn't really understand this. So basically, we were on our own trying to figure this world out, which
Yeah.
made it more difficult. It wasn't just the cultural aspect; it was just trying to navigate those waters at the same time without
Well,
having to be able to go to someone. Because I couldn't go to my parents and break that society down because they were just hustling. They were trying to survive to a
they
certain
were too
point,
busy.
even
Yeah.
though they knew about it. It was out there, but they were just too busy
You
to
were the
really
last
have
of the
these type of
last key.
conversations.
You were the last of the latchkey generation, weren't you? Like you were the
I
last
was the
kid.
last of the Mohicans. Last of
Yeah,
the Mohicans.
your
Yes.
ass got to your house at 3:25 and let yourself in. Um,
Exactly.
yeah. Well, it's interesting because you say that. I kind of I think that there is a lot. You're right. Both of them were working, or with one of them wasn't working, the other one was doing something else. So there was always something going on. We grew up. We're children of immigrants. As a matter of fact, I am an immigrant, but we're children of immigrants, and the realization is that it's hard. I mean, my parents did the best they could, man. I had a roof over my head, and I got fed every day.
Right.
Yours
Right.
too.
Right.
We went to college
Right.
somewhat. I went to some kind of
Right.
college. You went to college. So
Right.
there is a finished, and finished is what the end. The end is finished. All right. All right.
There's an
But
ED at the end. ED.
yeah, ed finished, not and it didn't finish me, but that was the thing. It's like what we did, um, to do what we did. It wasn't easy. Like I did your parents take you to any of the colleges that you wanted to go to, or did you just go
Right.
yourself?
We never jumped in a car and went upstate to go visit colleges. We never had that experience in any
What
capacity.
did you do?
I took the B6 down to Brooklyn College and that's how I got there.
I'm from college. Woo!
Wherever the bus left me, this is it. This is college life. That's how it worked for me.
After thinking about it, I went to Emerson College for a year, and then I went to SVA, and both times I was like, I realized that after the fact I should have just gone to Brooklyn College for 2 years and then moved over
Right.
to SVA.
Right. No, there's a lot of
For
truth to
their
that.
for their like specialized indoctrination. But the thing is that I would have, Brooklyn College is a good school. You can say whatever you
It's the
want about
Har-
it.
it's
It
the
does the
Harvard of
job.
the East Coast.
Yeah, it does the
It's the Harvard
job.
of CUNY. Yeah. The Harvard of CUNY. That's
The
how I
Harvard of
celebrate it.
CUNY. Check out my background. You like my background?
It is. It's kind of creepy and cool at the same time.
Dark Knight. Because all those movies are remakes. Just kidding, folks. I'm just. Man, I haven't seen that Batman movie yet. I've been trying to get to it. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna see if I can show you this. See if I can show you. Can you? I might
It's
have
a
to
cool
turn off
special effects.
special effects. Hold on. Can you see it? There it is. Can you see it?
Catwoman. I
Catwoman.
see it like in a great dissolve. Yes, Catwoman.
Catwoman with tube dolls, right?
Batman and who's
And
that?
Shrek from the movie.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's funny. I saw this. I saw it on Facebook. Was like, you like posters? I got a whole mess of posters you might like. And I was like, oh,
Were
yeah.
you upside down? Like your head was like on the bottom of the screen. Were you like doing? Were you
Yeah,
doing
it
a
was all over.
handstand for a second?
Crazy. Crazy. Oh, no, it's too high. It's too high. I got a bit of
Now the people are looking down on you.
All right. So yeah. So we
So it was a
went to
hard
school,
night
all that
life. It was a hard night life for us, right?
stuff. It was. I mean, Christmas was
To borrow a
fine.
phrase from Annie.
I talk to people about this stuff, right? And when it's like my biggest problem was when I was a kid, I wanted good sneakers, so I got a job.
Right.
You know.
Right. Right.
You want these sneakers? I don't want those sneakers, Mom. What's wrong with you? Those are shitty sneakers.
Right.
Like the kids from the bargain bin at M&M.
Right.
If you lived in New York, you know what the hell I'm talking about. If you lived in New York in Brooklyn, either like downtown or Flatbush, you know what an M&M is, and you know what you used to get taken to get your freaking irregular jeans and T-shirts and shit.
And
'Cause there were
A&S. That was
there
my
no Walmarts in Brooklyn back then. What?
A&S was the other one. Remember that one?
A&S.
A&S.
S&A.
Was it S&A?
Yeah, they're still there, by the way. They're still on 54th.
Are they? Interesting.
SNA stores, yeah. Yeah, SNA stores. That's the other place. Um, Brooklyn is interesting because you find a lot of those little like knick-knack paddywhack stores where you have everything in there. You have like,
Right.
oh, I need a rug. Oh, go to that place, get a rug. I need a pair of regular pants. Oh, everything's there. And they didn't get hurt by the pandemic because people were there. When I was in Brooklyn, like back about 6 months ago, and it was early, mid-pandemic or whatever. Mid-pandemic, we could actually say that. Holy shit, that's how long this thing's been going on for.
I know.
Back in like October or something, I was down in Flatlands or whatever. I parked the car and there was one of those stores like I need something. Like I needed something. I went in there and they had it. I don't remember what it was. But you can get like the same place. I'm in Jersey. I'm pretty close to Jersey City now, Jersey City Heights, and there's like 3 of those places right by here. So if you ever need like, and there's a place right up the block from me. If you ever need something like, it's not like a 99-cent store. It's like a 99-cent store on acid because everything in it's like crazy amount of shit.
Right.
What the hell is going on here?
And they sell whoopie pies.
And no, they don't. You gotta go to the bakery to get this. That place is great, man. I tell you.
I saw that and I was like, that's a huge whoopie pie.
You're talking about coming out here, man. We'll take a walk over there. It's pretty cool.
Well, I gotta hit that spot.
I gotta tell you, I love where I live in New Jersey. I'm very surprised at how much I kind of like it. It was impossible to do anything during deep in the ass of COVID. But as and it was winter, so there was nothing around. Everything was closed. But as we warm up, I got a haircut. See, as we warm up, we can find. There's more things to do around here. Like right on. It's like there's a Summit Avenue and there's the other avenue that's right there, and they have like places to shop. And there's a guy who sells T-shirts. Like he makes his own T-shirts. And a bicycle shop, and a couple different Cuban restaurant and a really good Chinese restaurant, and so it's that kind of stuff. And as we get closer to reopening, past 50%, you're going to see more of that around here, and really close to a really good movie theater. So I'm pretty happy.
You're discovering your area.
No, this area's been discovered. I've been here a few times before I moved around here. That's one of the reasons why I picked it. But like Secaucus is.
You're a conquistador. You're a conquistador.
Conquistador. Don't call me that. What's wrong with you? No, but it's cool. It's like there's a lot of good shit around here, and there's an okay bakery that I can't fight 2 blocks away. So if I want to get an Italian bread, I'll go over there and get one, and then they'll try to sell me some cheese, and I'm like, all right. So it's that kind of thing. It's cool. So, sir, I was talking about Winter Soldier, and we got off track. And it was interesting what happened in that episode where John, it's my son again, always calling me.
He knows exactly when to call. He knows exactly when to call.
Hey, Max, I'm doing a show. What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is everything okay?
You muted it. You muted it. You muted it. You muted yourself. You're muted. You're muted. You muted yourself. There you go. Now you're
I hit the button on the thing. On my microphone.
He hit the
big
button.
Ass mic, guys. It's a big ass microphone. So yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like every time we're on this thing, he calls. It's really hilarious. I don't know how he does it. Because we don't do this, folks. We don't meet we don't meet like the same day. It's like we have a set schedule. We try to get shit done.
We meet based on the topics that call us. Is basically what happens.
Call the wild.
What did Mitch McConnell do now? Mitch
McConnell, that son of a. Actually, he did some shit this week that was kind of like what. So Mitch McConnell is they're losing one of their senators in Kentucky, and the state constitution has a thing where the governor of the state picks the next person. Well, Mitch McConnell went to his state was like, look, we can't lose any more Republicans. Please change the law. So and now the governor can't pick. The state house is picking it, and I know the governor is going to take that to court. The thing is that they can't. It's It's like the 17th Amendment. They can't fucking can't decide states' rights. In the 17th Amendment of the Constitution, suck a dick. So what's interesting about going back to Winter Soldier,
Right, because it all ties in together. It's all coming back to us. Don't worry, folks.
So we know that this is spoilers, folks. Sorry if you haven't seen the fucking show. What the fuck's wrong with you? So it's like the spring. It's the spring awakening on Disney Plus, and you're not watching it.
Right.
What's wrong with you? Sam gives up the shield. They give it to a new Captain America. New Captain America looks like the kid from Up when he wears the old man from Up when he wears the Captain America thing, which I think is pretty funny. And he gets his ass kicked by the Dora Milaje, like
A couple of times.
they fuck him up. They fuck him and they fuck Battlestar up. They beat the hell out of him.
Even at one point, he's like, they weren't even super soldiers and they beat me.
Yeah,
up. Like even he was like, what is going on?
Soldiers. Which makes you think like maybe you need more training, brother.
Right.
Which again puts this thing into perspective about the Marvel MCU. Falcon can't even see himself as Captain America, right? Until he gave it away. Then he was like, these motherfuckers. Because it's like he realizes like I could have been Captain America. I just to keep the shield. Right. What are they gonna do?
Right. Take it from me. Right.
And that's what Steve gave it to him for a reason. So he gives it to the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian they take it from the Smithsonian, create a new Captain America, and this guy is bad news. Played definitely by the actor. Who's gonna get a lot more work. I'm hoping after this.
Right.
Wyatt Russell, who's really great.
Kurt
Russell's son. Kurt Russell, one of my favorite actors of all time, as you know, in my favorite movies of all time, The Thing. If you haven't seen The Thing, what's wrong with you? Seriously.
I thought it was Big Trouble in Little China.
That too. Like that movie as well. Not as much as The Thing, but I like that movie. You know what other movie I really like? I really like Escape from New York. Those three movies made by John Carpenter with Kurt Russell in them. Fantastic films. Anyway. I'm a Duke of New York. So John's bad news. In the rigmarole of the episode, he ends up with the super soldier serum. Spoilers, kids, and chases a guy down and kills him. Right. Pleading
with his
for his
shield.
life. The guy's pleading for his life.
With his shield.
Uses the shield.
The iconic shield. The iconic shield.
To kill that guy. Then you have this picture of him, the shield with blood on it, which is like, ooh. To me, I
people
always
standing around in shock.
Captain America, Steve always uses shield as a defensive weapon, right? Like it was offensive sometimes, but not. He never killed anybody with it. I mean,
Right.
I mean,
he knew the limits of the power.
He knocked them out. If somebody got hit with that shield, they weren't getting up. Being thrown by Steve Rogers. Holy shit!
Right.
Imagine. So.
But he never took it and just bashed it in somebody's body.
He never used it to separate somebody's head from their neck. And there's like this whole ongoing thing about, that kid's a bad guy. It's like, that kid ran away from him. He fell on the ground. He begged for his life. This is the same guy in the episode that said, I was a big fan of Captain America growing up. It's like, holy shit. Like, what can go right for this guy? Nothing.
Right.
Like, they really made you understand that this guy's death was not a good thing. And by the way, everybody was filming it.
There were like 30 people watching.
30 people watching. That shit goes on the internet. This kid has to be called home. You got to come home. Yeah, no, you got to.
Right. Yeah, a little out of control.
We saw the video. Yeah. No. You have to come home. What do you mean you're not coming?
You got a problem.
Listen. I know Battlestar. I know. No, I don't. No. Doesn't make it right. No, it doesn't make it right. Again, folks, old style phone. If it was a cell phone, I think. Yeah. Very different because he's talking to dad. That's why.
That was oddly my conversation with my kid this morning, basically.
You have your conversation with your kid like this?
It's like you were in the room, right? No, that's not. You don't throw things at your sister. No, you don't do that.
No, I used to do that to the kids, like smile and let them know they were fucking up. No,
right.
That's not what we did. And they used to get really mad when I did that. Like as they got older, they were like, It's like our parents. Our parents never. By the way, growing up Dominican and half Dominican, Jason's half Dominican. I'm full on Dominican. New York.
Right.
First of all, two things happen. One, you're a geek, no matter how you do it. You're a geek for something. Either a geek for baseball, Godzilla movies, comic books,
Right.
sneakers. You're a fucking geek. You get really into whatever that shit is, like deep. We have family.
That's
We have
true.
family that's deep into sneakers. You know.
Right, right.
I grew up with cousins that were deep into comics, like boxes and boxes. You know.
Right.
And forget about Godzilla. It was like a family reunion. Oh, Godzilla's on. Put on your
Right.
shirt. Let's go.
Right.
So-
Baseball, don't even think
Baseball,
about it.
holy
We play short. We still play shortstop with the milk cartons in our hands. We don't use a glove.
Yeah, I mean, really good basketball, really good. We got basketball athletes, baseball
Right, you're
athletes in our family. I'm a crazy lunatic, so we are very focused about the shit we love. And if you people say that sports geeks aren't, there's no such thing as sports geeks, you know why there is? Because sports, baseball especially, has a lot of numbers in it.
Yeah, it's true.
And you got to do the numbers if you want to do the sport. Sorry,
Right.
you got all kinds of numbers.
We were doing Moneyball before it was a thing. That's the way I
Yeah.
look at it. We knew all the stats. We knew everybody's
Did you play
batting
schematic?
average. We knew
You
everything.
played schematic baseball? Ever?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No joke, right? So
Yeah.
when as we grew up, like Jason and I knew, like maybe we don't hit our kids, right? Because
Right.
I can tell you all kinds of stories about the belt and the garbage, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Jason knows what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
I know.
Oh my god. But like we would but we would be sarcastic and obnoxious, and me especially, and my kids hated it.
All right.
As they got older, like, you have to do that. Like they even said, like they used to get quiet. Like, wait a minute, yeah, do that. Like, disgust in the face. Like, wow, what's wrong with you?
All right.
I'm not beating you though.
Right. There's always another option. You decide
yeah.
how we could do this.
You try not to hit them, but every
Right,
once in a
right,
while,
but-
just slip one gets slipped by.
Right. Your shoulder gets dislocated, kind of thing.
Yeah, somebody's shoulders get lifted. Yeah. But our parents would, our parents would just yell at us. Like it doesn't matter what it was. Like, hey, I took the milk out. Why did you leave the milk out? It's like, not why you, like, why you leave the milk? It's like, it's just milk.
I remember being in our cousin's house when he decided to go from whole milk to 2%. That started chaos. People were screaming. Quito got reamed for that one. The milk carton got thrown out the window. It was chaos.
What?
Chaos.
¿Qué es eso? 2%. Eso no es leche, eso es aguao, sale aguao. I just said that isn't milk. It's like water. It makes change the color of the coffee.
Chaos.
Fucks people up. If the coffee doesn't come a certain color, throw it away. What's wrong with you?
Right.
That
Something must be wrong with the
Bustelo at
coffee,
2 in the afternoon, if it's not that perfect Bustelo, that perfect milk and café con leche color, and 2 sugars.
Right.
Everybody's 2 sugars is different though.
Right.
Right? The 2 sugars is like 2 dumps.
Yeah.
It's like 2 giant dumps of sugar. It's like, I love it. I can't taste the sugar. That's because you're a diabetic and maybe cut it down a notch. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. God damn.
Your body. Oh my god.
Oh, my favorite, the tea that boils all day.
Yeah.
It's like
Constant.
tea- It's tea with
like
grass and
I need that I need smell. Remember, it would just
smell.
permeate in the
Everything-
whole
you know,
house. I know.
Dominicans are the only people that make tea out of whatever's in their spice cabinet.
You're right.
Cinnamon sticks, ani, the fuck,
Right.
Clove. It's clove tea basically. So it's clove.
Yeah.
Throw an onion in there. I've
Exactly.
seen. You think we're kidding? We ain't kidding.
You start smelling Vicks along with it.
Vicks, I'm not
Clears
kidding.
you
We're throwing
right
onion in that tea. What?
It's funny because it's true.
We're making fun of them, but this is serious as a heart attack, and they would be like talking to you like I talked to my mom like straight up like, Mom, why is there an onion in here? And I'm like a little confused. And she's like, then she tells you, she starts rolling it out. Like, no, the onions for the, then you takes you to the big board. Here's the reason why we have the onion. And there's what happened. And that's because you eat too much pizza. And over here it's like this. It's like, all right. Pizza's evil to Dominicans.
Yes, they hated pizza. Yeah.
Pizza is evil to Dominican parents. And McDonald's too. If you were to even say, I'm thinking of going to why would you go to McDonald's? We got McDonald's here. But it's not anything you could imagine being at all like McDonald's. Also, white bread is evil.
Yes.
I'm saying that from serious. I don't know why. I don't know.
Unless you dunk it in coffee, then it's okay.
Even worse. I grew up no. Why? When you have the crackers, the butter crackers. Why would you?
Right. That's true.
Man? That giant tin of El Dorados.
The green tin. The green tin.
That ends up everywhere in the house later on. It's like, no more de eso. What? It's the same.
You think a Jack in the Box is gonna come out of there?
The what?
It's so big. You think a Jack in the Box is gonna come out of there so big?
It's like $4, and it's cheap as hell. It's like $4 for these giant tins of crackers, and it's like you have that and eat them cheese. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
The afternoon snack, or
butter. You got to throw mantequilla on it. That was the other thing.
Butter, and there was the other one. When they cut that mango, guayaba.
Yeah.
Pasta de guayaba.
Yeah.
Giving you all the Dominican secrets, kids. This is what you use. This is what you use pasta de guayaba is guava paste. You get those at any store.
Yes.
Any bodega in the city. Here's the
get it for your next holiday party. Holiday party. Be it
here's the Dominican afternoon tray. Like, you know how you put out a tray of couture? Well, a couture, or something like you have a wine. This is the Dominican one, and there's no wine. It only comes with Café Bustelo or El Pico.
Right.
It's not, and you got what you got is your Edam cheese, right? You got a big ball of Edam cheese you cut in half. Then you got those crackers, and then you have, like, on the side, people say butter, but no, it's margarine.
Right.
It's whatever. It's a spread. It's whatever they got for less than $2 at the store.
It's lard. It's lard, is what it is.
It's lard, basically. It's it's something. It's milk. It's milk byproducts smashed and then flavored.
Right. And it's gonna clog. It's gonna clog your arteries in an instant. In an instant, it's gonna clog your arteries.
Dude. I did not know butter until after I moved out of my parents' house. Then when I started buying butter, and it was like, the reason why Dominicans buy Parquet shit like that, margarine and stuff like that. The reason why they do it is because that shit melts fast and is spreadable. Butter does not melt fast and it's not spreadable.
Right.
Real butter. You buy whipped butter, and that's a different situation altogether. But it's not spreadable. Right. You can't fucking spread that shit. It's like, oh my God, what's going on? So, I started buying butter when I moved out of the house. Like, I'll buy 2 sticks, see what's going on. And I know what it's like. You can't really,
right.
Unless you leave it out. I don't know. Who wants to leave butter out because it gets rancid? You don't want to do that. So,
yeah.
But after.
And if you were lucky, you got some salami on the side. If you were lucky.
Salami, yeah. And after going to Paris, I only cook my eggs.
Ooh, parlez-vous français? Oui.
You went to Paris too, right? You stayed pretty close to where I was staying once.
We did the whole. Yeah. We did the whole month of traveling Europe.
You were in Paris for a month or in France for a month?
No, we were there for 6-7 days, and then we went to Rome for 6-7 days, and then we went to London for 6-7 days. It was almost 28 days.
Yeah, my next trip is if I go to Europe, is gonna be Barcelona, and then I'm gonna drive from Barcelona to the French Riviera.
You would like Barcelona. It's very cool.
Barcelona, yes, I would like that.
If you want the museums and stuff, you gotta go to Madrid. But Barcelona has a nice. It's a different vibe.
Why? I agree. Yes, if I want to see that shit. But I'm not going to Madrid. I'm going to Barcelona. You know why? Because it's right by the water, and not too far away from Ibiza. If I want to go there, but I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna right by the water, and then I'm gonna drive up to the French Riviera. I'm gonna take it easy. Go to a winery. Chill out.
Look at you.
By myself, and then maybe if I have some time, drive up to Paris. Hello.
Why not?
Or take the train.
You got to take the Euro train. Crazy. It goes 500 miles per hour, that thing.
I mean,
Literally, seeing cows just flashing by.
The United States is the fucking dark ages when it comes to fucking transportation because of our love of cars. And you can complain all you want, but infrastructure is trains. That's another thing. We're gonna wait.
Right.
We gotta finish this Winter Soldier track. I gotta stay on track. You keep me off the track. So, out of control. So, that out of control thing, by the way, cracks me the hell up because I don't know where you guys got it from, but I used to do it. I used to do it after watching Regis Philbin. I don't know if you got it from Regis Philbin.
I don't know. It just became part of our vocabulary.
It was like David used to do it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? It's out of control. It's gonna be a noise, and then another one. Yep. See, told you. The sun's going.
So Winter Soldier.
Huh?
So Falcon's upset.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. Falcon
he feels inferiority complex.
Right. He has an inferiority complex because of the white man. And but now we need to figure out, like, I think where we're going with this, or we're trying to go with this. This is too bright. This is annoying. Get out of here. Actually, this is what's happening here. Is that better? The sun?
You want the
I
sun?
have
or you
no
don't
producers, guys. I'm doing everything here. The internet. I got nobody to help me. I can't.
Breaks out the kazoo.
The sound effects. It could be a noise. I have one.
Of course you do.
Somewhere. Where it is. Yeah, I need a producer. Where's my water? Where's my goddamn water? Anyway. So what's gonna happen is there's only 2 episodes left. John just killed somebody. Spoilers. And he can't obviously be Captain America anymore, right?
Right.
And Zemo's on the loose like the Thundercats.
But my question is to you is, do you believe that they're doing this track to kind of put a hit on Captain America in a sense, because he was just too good for too long? You know what I'm trying to say? The original Captain was Steve Rogers, of course, just to kind of make him seem like even Captain America, even though this is a new Captain America, has issues too that he has to work with. You know what I'm trying to say? Because he was always, too goody good 2 shoes for me.
Someone put some. I get you. I don't think he was too goody 2 shoes because he beat the shit out of people like crazy.
Right.
But it wasn't about might being right as this Captain America seems to be. It was more about what the moral situation needed. Like, he fought himself. Excuse me. He fought himself to get the staff in Endgame. It wasn't because he wanted to beat himself. It was because he needed to. He had a directive. He had a mission. He was always about the mission, making sure the people that deserved to get hurt got hurt. But this guy's he's a loose cannon. So we'll see what happens. There's this thing where, like, Falcon being a black person in America is dealing with all this stuff. He can't get a loan for his sister
For the boat.
right? He can't
For the boat.
because he's this guy who saved the world, but he's to them he's just another black dude with bad credit or not enough money or whatever, and then but the Dora Milaje show up and they're incredibly empowered with black women who take off, who basically cured Bucky and then take off his arm.
Right. Which is a crazy scene.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
Bucky's like, damn, ain't doing me like that? How you gonna do me? All right. And then they did the kick thing to pick up the shield too, which I thought was like, damn, that's hot.
Right.
They're like, leave it. We make those on Tuesdays.
Yeah, exactly.
I got enough. I got like 5 of them. Don't worry about it. Give this man a shield. So I find the social commentary that's part of the show itself pretty interesting, and I want to see how they shore that up over the next few episodes. There's only 2 left supposedly, so hang on tight there.
So do you think the Marvel world likes this message? Because remember when Star Wars tried to do it, how people flipped out in that movie when they started talking about different.
In Star Wars.
It was horrible.
It's a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
Right. I
right?
understand.
How
I
what?
understand.
Don't bring economic bullshit into this. Oh, there's rich people and there's poor people because there's crime and there's no, and there's people fighting blood. They want the war to keep going. Like, no, don't stop. What are you doing?
I
Also,
agree.
why
I
are you
agree.
even having this scene? Why is this scene in this movie? What
Right.
the
Why we
hell's
start?
going on? What's
Why
up
were
with
those
these
20
horses?
minutes
What's
in that
happening?
movie? Right.
Uh,
Right.
to me, Star Wars, the first three, everything was grungy, right? Like everything was kind of like it's like technology got to a point, and then that's it. Like you know what I mean,
Right.
like that, and that made
Yep.
sense to me because whatever the original idea of society built around this order that kind of kept the balance and made sure that places like Tatooine got the technology they needed. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Right.
Um, but they basically were left when the Empire took over, shit contracted, and it became just kind of like the war machine went out.
Right.
And that's all you said. You had stormtroopers with guns, and that's it. And technology is what you can scrounge.
Right.
So it's very interesting to me how that kind of changed in this new Star Wars movie, the one we're complaining about,
Right.
um, Last Jedi,
That's
because
it. Yeah.
shit was like tight, like technology. Everybody had new shit, and it was and whatever, and you're like, wait a minute. So like there was no grungy Jabba the Hutt hole anymore. This casino was like this giant casino, and
Right.
people were like,
Lots of money flowing. Right.
and to me, if you're gonna do that, then I don't know. It's like it just gave me a shitty taste in my mouth because it felt like no, you're not. It shouldn't be about that. You're not. Don't do that.
Right.
And also Broom Boy. Don't
I
forget.
mean, I agree with you. It was terrible. It was a terrible 20, 30 minutes of that film, but I just remember the uproar, people flipping out because of it. And I wonder if the Marvel fan, the diehard, if they go down this direction in the future, do they want to deal with that, or they just want to see Captain America and beating somebody up? You know what I'm trying to say?
I think that a lot of people want to see Captain America beating people up, and they want to see
Yeah.
Captain America being an extension of what we consider America today. But
Okay.
that's completely wrong. And the unfortunate realization is what? The unfortunate realization is that Cap was about, again. He had a moral structure. He had a moral mission. It was about stopping the Nazis. You know what I mean? Or whoever was the bad guy at
Right.
any given point. So we'll see what happens. Have you been
You
catching up
interest-
with Invincible at all yet?
I saw the first episode, and the missus automatically said, "This must be a movie that Jesus made you watch." A show that Jesus made you.
You know it was good. You were like, "That's good, man. Look at that."
But I found it interesting. I like the dynamic with the dad and the son, and them trying to understand, and how the dad is kind of like upset that he got his powers. I like that dynamic. I thought that it was very interesting to see, and people actually cursing, so that was pretty cool. Where
Yeah.
real life conversations going on.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't sugar coated.
And
I'll keep watching it to see how it evolves.
and that battle scene at the end was pretty good too, right? You're like,
Yeah, yeah. Even the first one, when we're fighting the two twin things.
oh yeah,
from
those
after.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's great because they set those. So I read Invincible the comic. I was turned down to it years after it came out by a friend of mine. He was
Right.
like, "You're reading this comic." I'm like, "Comics, get out of here." While I was working at a comic company, I was being told to read a comic, and I was like, "Get out of here."
Right.
And then I read it. I started reading it, and I was like, "This is fantastic! Like, it's really, really good." And if you have a good library, you can go and pick up the collected items that they have in there. Pick them up. You can read them first. They're really great. Or maybe you can, borrow them online from your Amazon account if you have a digital comic account with Amazon. You can actually, see some of that there. And try to save yourself some money because the comics are like $3.
Yeah.
That's a cup of coffee
Inflation,
and
my
pizza.
friend. Inflation
That's a pizza right there.
and a Coke.
Depends you're not getting that from Joe's. Joe's like,
Exactly.
"Where's your money? Where's your money? Cash only. Cash only here." But they have really good pizza. Have you ever been to Joe's, 14th Street and Bleecker. Good shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So they also have one in the 30s now. So yeah, it's a good show. You haven't seen it, you should keep checking it out.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching the episodes. Like I'll watch it, and then later in the week I'll rewatch it because
Right.
it's just so good.
All right.
It's just really good. But same guys who did The Boys.
What world is this? Is this a DC world? What
No,
world is it?
it's
It's just a
the guy who
standalone kind of
created
thing.
the guy who created Walking Dead also
Right.
created Invincible, and
Gotcha.
it's his own comic universe. At one point,
Gotcha.
all these comic characters were part of the Image superhero universe, so they intertwined with other people like Savage Dragon. If you know who Savage Dragon is,
Uh-huh.
he had a TV show for a little while, and some of the other characters in that universe. But Savage Dragon is balls crazy, so they separated that shit pretty quick. That book is crazy. So it's like almost 200 issues of that fucking thing. God damn.
It's a lot of stories
200
to
months
tell.
of comics. Huh?
There's a lot of stories to tell at that point.
Well, maybe only 300. I wonder. Wait a minute. I gotta ask.
So are you looking forward to this Rock movie?
What?
Are you looking forward to this Rock movie and playing the superhero?
Rock?
Black Adam.
Yeah, not really. He's not playing a superhero.
No?
No.
I thought he was the superhero.
He's a supervillain.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, Black Adam is Shazam's nemesis.
Oh, that's right. Right.
So when people say who he is,
That's right.
Savage Dragon is a comics. The newest issue is
Because you did not like Shazam.
I thought it was okay.
You didn't think it was too cheesy? I could have sworn I had a conversation with you where you were like,
I
it is
had
what it
I had
is.
I had issues with okay. I had issues with that flavor of Shazam. Not
Yeah.
Shazam itself. Well, like Billy Batson in the comics is like this kid's like, oh shucks, oh geez. And he's like, he's a little 12, 13-year-old who Shazam like finds and is like, hey, you're an orphan. How about I give you some superpowers?
Right,
Take
right.
this. And over the years, like, there's first of all, do you know the Shazam, the Captain Marvel hyphen Shazam story?
Break it down.
I'm gonna break it down for you.
If
So
I know it's
Shazam
not as much as I
originally
shouldn't know.
Was published by a company called Fawcett Comics, right?
Uh-huh. Back in the
And
day when comics were comics.
Back in the day, back in the 40s, actually. DC Comics, National Comics at the time that owned Superman, Fawcett, they've been around for a while. They've been publishing Shazam for a while. They didn't like the fact that Shazam was doing so well in some of their markets and started crowding Superman's popularity.
Gotcha.
So they sued Fawcett and said, ripped us off. I mean, come on. Guy with the cape?
Right.
Whatever,
Right.
same thing. And the judge was like, same thing. And he gave Shazam to DC Comics. And DC Comics tried to bury it, but it had such a big fandom that they just kind of integrated it into the story, into the thing. So back in the 50s, they
Gotcha.
integrated it. So originally, Shazam was name was Captain Marvel, not Shazam. Shazam was what he said to get his power. And what happened is they back in like late 60s, they missed the chance to basically keep the name Captain Marvel going. So Marvel Comics stole it to give Captain Marvel to create their own Captain Marvel. What they did basically is publish a comic called Captain Marvel, and even though they couldn't use it on the cover of the comics anymore, they could say Shazam, Captain Marvel in little letters. But even then, Marvel was like, because they wanted to make sure there was a difference in the comics, they changed his name to Shazam. And in the movies, in the new movie, he doesn't say what his name is. He says, "Say my name."
Right.
To his cousin, to his whatever, and they're like, "What's your name?" Like, what I say. Say what I say.
The comic book wars were serious, huh? That sounds
Well, I
deep.
mean, there's a lot of stuff in publishing that's crazy like that. I mean, we could.
Like East Coast, West Coast in the rap game. Was it that bad back in the day?
Uh, no, I mean, it's weird. It's like it's publishers making a specific kind of thing, and there wasn't a whole lot of those guys. And how do they make sure they get their part of the news wall,
Right.
right? Um, there was the publishing had incredible variety in the 50s and 60s. You had
Had a
all
lot of
kinds
power
of
back
comic
then, right?
publishers. EC Comics, they did all the terror books. Um, you know, there's a book about all that about that. What's it called? Seduction of the Innocent. There's a book called Seduction of the Innocent, and Seduction of the Innocent was about by this guy named Frederick Wortham. And Frederick Wortham was like, comics are killing our children. And he wrote a book about how comics are making people crazy. And
Right.
because Americans are stupid, they fell for it. So
Right.
they did. They fell for it. And EC Comics, they used to put out great, really, really great, horrible, you know, there's 10-cent plague too. Great horrible comics about horror comics. If you ever read any EC comics, Tales from the Crypt was one of their
Mhm.
comics, which became
Right.
made into TV shows and stuff. But it's all really really nuts. Like comics had they were trying to get bigger readership, but because they couldn't see past who the real audience was, they felt that the kids were buying it. It's like if you're going to buy comics are 15 cents. If you were a
Right.
kid, you had a quarter in your pocket. You got a comic book and you got yourself a soda at the soda shop. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So an egg cream. I'll have an egg cream in that copy of Tales from the Crypt or Terror or True Crime or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Um, or Superman or Batman or whatever happened. But so to save themselves from that from uh, these books that basically ended up being stopped, like they were censored. The guys who EC changed its became Mad. They became Mad Magazine basically, and started
Gotcha.
publishing Mad Magazine, which is still kind of like out there. The early Mad Magazine comics are like they're all parody and shit. They're all
Yeah.
but they're not. They're um, so comics became very different, and Marvel went from being they went like they started doing more romance comics. Marvel was called something else. They started doing more romance comics, and then Stan Lee took them into the future with his take on Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom and all those guys. But so what DC did was they since they couldn't do anything like any more fighty stuff, they started like making like these things called imaginary stories, where Superman got a big head, and Batman
Right.
turned purple, and Batman and Robin, you know, uh, Batman couldn't turn into wood, and Robin had to save him. Shit like that. It was crazy,
Right. Right.
crazy fucking goofy stuff in the 50s.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what happened to Shazam. So Shazam has a bunch of villains. Sylvania is one of them, Dr. Sylvania. Um, Mr. Mind, the worm with the box, the talking box on him.
Yes. Yes.
That's Mr.
Right.
Mind. And his nemesis, who's Black Adam. Black Adam is who The Rock is
The
going to
Rock
play.
is it. Right.
So Black
And we're
Adam
and we're
is.
gonna see and we're gonna see his world basically.
Well, I mean,
Like,
he's a bad guy. So, I
but
mean,
so that's what I'm saying. Are they gonna make him a bad guy who turns good? He's kind of like Venom kind of thing, where
he was he was he was he was Shazam's original first champion, basically. And he was like, "I got power. I'm gonna kill stuff." And Shazam was like, "Oh, go to sleep." And he puts him in a tomb, basically, for thousands of years. And he awakens, and and he's various things happen. But in the comics, there's been different flavors of Shazam over the years, and they keep rebooting it. The last reboot was the Shazam with all his family. Shazam
yeah.
always had family. Originally, you had Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel. Captain Marvel Jr. was his friend. Mary Marvel was his sister that was separated after
Right.
her parents were killed because they're orphans.
Right.
So you know
See,
it's really
he
kind of
got
funny because Billy is 13 and he's full grown. He has a body of a full grown man, and it's a little strange.
Literally.
Um,
It's not just me then.
you know, he's in the Justice League and he's checking chicks out, and he's like, "Well,
Uh,
Wonder Woman, you are very healthy." Um, but he's 13, so
right.
there's that. Um, no, but like that's what it's going to be. But the cool thing about it is there's a lot of DC heroes in it. There's Doctor Fate, Hawkman. They're both in
Awesome.
that movie.
Right. Yeah.
Um, Doctor Fate being played by Pierce Brosnan,
Oh, really?
right? Um, so we'll see some stuff. It's going to be cool. Kent Nelson, one of my favorite magical characters. He's magical.
See.
All right, so that's what's happening there. I don't know. I don't know how good this movie's going to be. I have no idea. But they're
Right.
filming it.
Every time I look at The Rock on Instagram, he's hyping it up.
Oh, he's very excited.
Yeah, he's pumped up about it.
He wants to know. He wants you to know what he's cooking.
Yeah.
All right,
Literally every Sunday.
what is going on in Washington? Those people are nuts.
It's been
Nuts.
it is chaos over there.
Oh my
You
god.
you thought it would get better, or when Trump left, like things would get calmer, and it has on the top with the president, but everything else is like these guys are just fighting and scrounging, trying to be the next Trump, and this is what's causing the chaos, basically.
You
in
think?
my opinion.
Well, I think a couple different things are happening. It's not just them trying to be the next Trump. I think that CPAC this year was a dud. Last year was a
Right.
dud, right? Because Trump was like, "Yeah, Trump holding a flag," yeah. But this year was a complete dud because everybody who was on that stage was boring. They had nobody.
Right.
They had no new talent, and everybody who was new was crazy. Um,
Well, it's
you
like we
know,
talked about, they have no platform. So when you have nothing you can like latch onto and
Right.
talk about and expand, you just get people who are just
And-
sprouting whatever they want to sprout.
and there's no black guy in it's the president this time, so it's not like they can say Bleh. I hate to say it, but the GOP is racist, and we know this because they like that. They like that thing. They like pushing that. And you could say people say that's not true, but it's absolutely true. So this week, a couple of things happened that were very interesting. One, and I really want to hear what you have to say about this.
Yes.
One, the filibuster is getting closer and closer to being disconnected. Like someone's
Right.
going to kill it. Like what's his name is saying, I don't want to fight the filibuster anymore. We got to keep the filibuster. He's wanted to do that because his corporate interests. What's his name from West Virginia?
Mansion.
Manchin.
Right.
Sorry, his corporate interests are keeping him at bay. Like he gets a lot of Walmart money. That guy, right?
Yeah.
And he's a Democrat in West Virginia, so he's just a step away from being a Republican anyway, right? So,
But he
Manchin
just
is
got
considered
reelected,
moderate.
right? Didn't he just get reelected? Meaning he has 6 more years on his belt.
Manchin just got reelected. He has 6 more years on his belt. He is a problem.
Right.
He is. He's just you don't get in the way of this reform. There's a lot of reforms that are coming down the pike that the Republicans want to stop at all costs. H1,
Yeah.
the infrastructure bill, which by the way isn't an infrastructure bill according to them. The third wave of checks, fourth wave of checks that's supposed to be coming down the pike. Biden is definitely thinking about killing student loans, $50,000,
Yeah.
killing them. So there's all that stuff that's actually coming down that really will help the American people. That Manchin's going to stop because filibuster needs to exist. I don't understand that.
And the way to pay for this infrastructure, I think Biden wants 28% tax rate on the
Right.
corporation. The Manchin's like, no, we want 25 max. Like 28 is way too much. So there's going to be some
thing is that
haggling
it's
of stuff going on with
The
that.
thing is that 28%. It used to be 31% before fucking, Trump dropped it down to 31 to 21. So 28% is fine. And most corporations are going to be like, all right, we knew this was going to be a free ride. But Manchin making it 25% is just him playing to his corporate interests. And we got to start thinking about how that works. Because that's dumb. I mean, that's just dumb. Let me do something.
But you did see the New York Times article today where all these corporations came out together and said,
That's the other
we
thing.
support voting rights. Yeah,
Yep.
that was interesting that they're kind of banding together in a sense and saying, this is what we stand for. Nice. Speaking of standing, this is what we stand for. And
Right.
we're going to
Mitch
do it our way
McConnell-
kind of thing.
And they're saying, and all the Republicans are saying shit like, oh, they can't be involved in politics. It's like you love them when they're involved in politics and give you money.
Right.
You're doing shit for them right now. Right now. Imagine is doing shit for fucking Walmart right now.
Right.
And
What's
Amazon and
funny?
those guys. So New York Times had some interesting. You're right. So New York Times has some interesting stories too. Their tech people unionized this week.
For who? For Apple?
New York Times.
Oh, the New York Times. Okay,
The
okay.
New York Times tech department unionized
Gotcha.
this week.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, the journalists have a union. So
Right, right. That's what I wonder. What union did they join at that point then? Because it's not a writers guild. It's not a. I
not a
wonder what it
writers
would be.
guild.
Yeah.
It's probably a tech guild.
Right.
Look, man,
Some
I think that
IBW type thing.
the future is unions, right? We know that maybe not in the South, but as gig workers get more and more prevalent, they're going to have to unionize. They're going to have to
Right.
figure something out. And I think that's going to happen. I think there's going to be more unions. I think we're realizing that Reagan didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, and all it did was hurt the American middle class. And the middle class is either look, man, the middle class is struggling. The are you working? Are you full time? Or are you working as a gig guy too? Are you contracting
I
out?
was a gig guy for a long time now, but I'm staff now.
Okay, I'm a gig guy. I'm gigging. I've been
And I don't
gigging
mind the
a lot
gig.
lately.
I don't mind the gig, to be honest with you. It's a little more of a hustle. It's more of a grind, but I loved being in the gig economy. I really did. The only reason I did it was because I wanted more of a stable schedule, just because like the kid world. But if it wasn't for that, I and there's a lot of downfalls to it. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I know.
I did enjoy the gig economy, just like hustling for the buck and picking your own. I mean, your own enterprise in a
Yep.
sense, and I enjoyed that in many respects.
Yeah, and it works if you do certain things for your taxes. Like you go
Right,
1099,
right.
and you could
And
say
depending on your field, being
yeah,
an Uber driver is different than working in TV, for example.
right,
You know what
but
I'm trying to
that's the
say? So
thing.
it's a
When
different
you're
world.
on TV, I'm a digital producer. It's a very different situation. Working as a
Right,
behind a car, I did Uber for a while between gigs, and it sucked. I didn't make
right,
any
right,
money because they have rules. You're not supposed to pick anybody up at the airport unless you're
right.
by the airport. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. So overall, you can't. You're not really a cab driver.
Yeah,
You're a guy with a car who's picking people up for money. And I think over the time that I worked at both Uber and Lyft, I made something like $20 per day,
yeah,
which is shitty.
right. Because you're doing a lot of local routes.
Right.
Right,
Um, I didn't do more than like pick, uh, pick people up at the supermarket and take them home. There
right.
was one time I did pick somebody up and took them to the airport, but it only made me $11. So, is it worth it? No.
Now,
To me,
what kills the gig economy? What kills the gig economy is that we have no social safety net. So if you're a guy who's, working, or a woman who's working in a certain field, and you don't have a good healthcare plan or the ability to pay for that healthcare plan, now you're in trouble, because if you get sick, you don't have anything to fall back on, God forbid. And that's where the safety net comes out. If the country wants to go to the gig economy world, which is obviously where politics is kind of pushing people out towards,
Republicans are.
even though right, right. But there is that push regardless. Even people, who want to unionize are saying they don't want to unionize because they're going a certain direction. We can go to that gig economy, but then we need more of a safety net, because people will get sick. People will go weeks without working. It's going to be hard at times when it's bad weather, for example, and you can't go out and work. So like this all has to be part of the plan. If you're pushing them to the gig, then you have to give them something on the
So you
side. You
need to
just have
right. So
to.
I agree. You're absolutely right. We need to get socialized medicine happening. We need to get some actual thing. I think that if if corporations don't want to pay for employees, right? Make whatever taxes, like a percentage of their taxes, go to that thing immediately,
Right.
right? I'm just hey, here you have to pay 28% taxes, but 3% of that taxes goes into to make sure that everybody gets self insurance. So 3% of that
Right.
taxes make sure that everyone has ample Social Security or something. Unemployment insurance goes is just basic, and it's got to be more than $600 a week, for God's sakes.
Right. It
But
sounds like a lot of money, but when bills start disappearing, $600
listen, man,
becomes
$600 a week. If you're lucky, $600 a week pays for your house. If you have a mortgage that is under 1,500,
right.
a mortgage that is $1,000 bucks, and that's hard to find nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, $1,400 is what is this apartment for me.
Right.
So, so that there's that. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. So Manchin's a problem. Uh, we talked about Turtle Man and his ridiculous thing that he's doing in Kentucky. Sorry, Tennessee. Is it Kentucky or Tennessee? Kentucky, right? And then we're also
Kentucky.
talking about how it looks like Matt Getz is in real trouble. Man, oh man, Shevitz, that guy.
Even Trump's people are like, stay away from Trump. Don't take any meetings with him. Don't talk to the guy. Like they want, even they're
Nothing to
seeing
do
the
with him.
writing on the wall.
And
Right.
and now on CNN yesterday, two women were like, "Oh yeah, Matt Getz, yeah, we partied with him and two other senators." And you're like, "Oh, really?"
Now we know why they're not coming out.
Exactly.
Right.
So these guys are in trouble basically. Whoever these people are. But we'll see. I mean, it's the guy who was involved with Matt Getz, and he's not just this. It's not just this particular thing. There's something else that's happening there. Florida
Yeah.
had the election. Florida knew that there was a good chance they were going to lose chairs to Latinos, right? And because there's a lot of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and other people that aren't Cuban in Florida. Cubans,
Right.
you know, will vote.
Venezuelan, Colombians, right?
Yeah,
There's a lot of
Cubans will
different-
vote. Cubans will vote Republican, but all the other guys, although we're not Latinos aren't a monolith, right? So all
Right.
the other guys are going to vote willy nilly, and that's the thing,
Just like the rest of the American population, whatever fits their interest, basically.
right?
Hello?
And the same thing. It's like the understanding that people think that Latinos are always going to vote left. No, not
Right.
really.
Yeah.
A lot of Latinos are very religious, and they think about
And very
abortion.
conservative in many
They,
respects.
yeah,
Yeah.
they vote that way, believe it or not, and they like heavy-handed assholes like Trump.
Because we
It's
come
really
from
funny.
countries that have
They
those
don't like
guys.
they
It's,
don't
you
like
know,
they don't like despots in Cuba unless it's their despot. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't like Fidel Castro
Right.
because he took shit from him, right? But they were okay with Batista who took shit from the poor people. Like it's like you can't have it both. You can't have it like that.
right.
And it's true. Look it up, folks. I'm not lying about this. Check out Batista. Check out what Castro did and who left Cuba because of that. Latinos like despots that are in their side. They're in their back pockets. You know. And like Trump. So there was during the 2020 voting season, they set up a person whose name was similar to the Democrat that was running. So the Republican won in that county or whatever, but he won because this made up person was being used who had a similar name to the person that was running. They used him to siphon off votes.
Right. They
from
split the vote.
The Democrat. So this is now a thing, and the federales are getting involved, and Florida's like, there's nothing to see here. It's like, no, you can't do that. You can't cheat like that, right? There's laws in the books that say you can't. So Matt Getz was involved in that shit.
It just gets crazy. I don't understand why this. So let me bring it back, and then I'll move to where we are now. So the Republicans are scared because I think corporations now have said, what do we care about more? We care about the 18 to 34-year-old demographic. They're the ones that are going to buy our product. They're the ones that are going to basically be around for the next 50 years. So whatever this demographic is saying, we want on our side. Hence,
Right.
hence why they're jumping on the voting rights acts, because they're complaining about it. They're the loudest voices on this. So they'd rather, listen to the 18-year-old than the 65-year-old who, isn't going to buy Pepsi as much as the 18-year-old or Coke or whatever. And that's what's going on here. And the Republicans see the writing on the wall with this, and it scares them. Hence why instead of going for the best candidate or the best message, there's all this other kind of games being played, like you said in Florida. And I don't, you can only keep this up for so long. Eventually you need a message. This is what gets to me. Like, I want a message. So even if it's a bad message, so that people could understand what's going on and actually like have a conversation. There's no conversation because there's no message. You know,
Because the message is, I lost the election. They took it from me. They stole it. It was stolen. The election was stolen. Stolen from me. I won it fair and square.
But even if you believe that,
They
what's
believe
the
it.
proper reform? Because all these states are coming up with crazy ideas of what the
The proper reform is to let people vote. Let more people vote.
I agree.
Stop making people tend to open up voting so you vote a week before election day. You know what? I don't understand. It's like, let people vote. You're afraid of black people voting? Fine. Get your message to them that isn't cops are okay to kill you. I mean, there is no ideas in the GOP right now. The GOP's only idea is Trump. That's the only idea they want, because to the local yokels, he's the most popular thing. He's the greatest man. He's this guy, it just blows my mind. We live in New York. We grew up with Trump. Guy's a dick. That's it. That's it. I remember somebody asking me, "Oh, you think Trump's a good guy?" I'm like, "No." Well, I know people who work for him and they think he's great. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be nice to people who work for him. Why wouldn't he be? He wants that guy not to take a shit in his desk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Right. And I'm basing this basically like reading what's
Trump had a meeting.
Reading what's coming out of CPAC. There is no message. That's the thing. I'm reading from what's coming out of CPAC. I'm reading what's coming out of even the last presidential, debates. Like there isn't Trump wasn't running on the future. He was running on all the past and grievances.
Not even. That's right, grievance. Like everyone's look at what the black people are doing. They're taking away my jobs. It's like, really? What black guys?
I wasn't even talking about that grievance. I was talking about how I'm not getting enough respect. I did this, I did that, and maybe me type of thing. There's
a thing that people like to say when they talk about people. By the way, Rush Limbaugh used to say this all the time, and fuck that guy. I'm glad he's dead. Oh, you don't like that story? Listen, Rush Limbaugh is a piece of shit, and he's the guy who made fun of people dying of AIDS every day for years. So don't talk to me about how we should be nicer to him. Fuck that guy. He didn't die soon enough. Or painfully enough. Drug dealer, drug addict, bitch. So, one of the ongoing things he says,
my
this idea of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, right?
Right.
You gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Now, that's what they used to say to us meaning immigrants and whatever. You don't have a pot to piss in? Well, this guy didn't have a pot to piss in. Now he's running General Motors. Or this guy invented Velcro, and now look at him, and shit like that. So, I myself always found that really funny, because picking yourself up by your boot, you need something. You need bootstraps first, right? You need actual bootstraps so you can pull yourself up by them.
Yeah.
Whereas, and that's the thing. And when somebody says, "Oh, I'm having a hard time because Obamacare is expensive," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm doing it too." Well, they should change it so it won't be so expensive. Like, but you want to get rid of it altogether. What? Don't complain about Obamacare because it costs a lot, because they made it cost a lot on purpose. Right. They could have extended the how much people put in, how much taxes go to it, and they could have subsidized it somehow, but they didn't want to because they wanted it to be expensive.
And by the way, whether it be Obamacare or not, healthcare is expensive. Period. Yeah, like our GDP is like 30% healthcare now. Like that's how expensive it is now.
But it's because we're not trying to regulate it. Healthcare doesn't want to be regulated. That's why it's expensive. If we were to say healthcare is socialized, and the government's only going to pay so much, that takes the money out of it. Like it just fucking kills it. The reason is the Republicans are only always trying to make themselves rich. That's it. Everybody and you can say the same thing about Democrats, blah, blah, but it's a different thing from Bernie Sanders writing a fucking book and making $10 million from book sales, from Mitch McConnell, who came in, as the local yokel, $75,000 a year, and is leaving with a $20 million fucking bankroll. How did that happen? You know what I'm saying? And you can talk about blah blah blah. These guys should not be in politics as long as they are. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be a senator for 30 years. That doesn't make any sense to me.
when they created the Constitution, people didn't live as long. So
Yeah.
same thing with the Supreme Court. We shouldn't have a Supreme Court member going to 90 years old. I mean, let's just be honest, you know.
Well, they should retire them sooner. But the other thing is that I
Right.
think is to reset the Supreme Court, add 2 more seats. Just add 2 seats. Why? Because Clarence Thomas doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about at this point. He just doesn't fucking know. He doesn't even pay attention. Like, you know, and everybody else is in the Republicans' back pocket. This country is a liberal democracy first, right? It's a liberal democracy. It is not based on God. It's not based on any of this shit. They're saying they made sure that you could understand that you as a person should not be persecuted for your beliefs. So if I was a Quaker, the Protestants can't say shit to me, right? You know, I mean, they had issues with Catholics, and it is a big deal. Catholics in the United States were not liked. But the idea was, for a long time, you know, until the Irish got here and then shit changed. Seriously. But the idea is that you don't want to be persecuted for your religion. It's not that you want your religion to be there's only one flavor of your religion, and that's the only religion we can have. That's ridiculous. And being told, like, look, Quakers believe in Jesus Christ, but they don't believe in Jesus Christ the way freaking, you know, evangelists believe in Jesus Christ, or Lutherans, or Catholics. Everyone has a different flavor of Judeo-Christianity, or Judeo-Christian, or Jews themselves, or Muslims. There shouldn't be a bigger weight of one thing or another, and your religion should not stop me from doing whatever the fuck I want. If I'm an atheist, atheists kill babies. No, I don't kill babies. I don't have time to kill babies. I've raped and killed everyone I was going to do that to, and that's nobody. So shut up. Just because I don't believe in God doesn't make me God. Doesn't make me without morals. And that's one of the things that I had to learn the hard way, because I sent my kids to school and they were like, "Dad, they keep telling us K's are going to hell." And I was like, "That's enough. Don't go there anymore. No more church for you." I mean, seriously, that's one of the things that I couldn't stand. Don't tell me or my kids that your idea of religion means that people are going, one select kind of person is going to hell. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Right.
You're going to hell.
No.
You know why you're going to hell? Because you're a prideful bitch. How about that?
Hey.
Prideful bitch. It's one of the sins, bitch.
So that was Catholic school that they were going to?
They were going to Sunday school.
Yeah. Right.
Gays and trans people are evil, and they go to hell. And it's like, easy.
Right. We're all human beings before anything. Why can't we just take it easy?
Or better yet, sex is bad. You're absolutely wrong about that. I can tell you from an observer that sex is not bad. I don't want them putting shitty things in the kids' heads. Sorry.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Your morality, your idea of morality does not begin and end with you. It's and that's the thing. Amy Coney Bryant, who's on the Supreme Court, crazy Catholic bitch. She's like you got to be careful. There's all those states that have Republican state houses are trying to take away rights from gays and lesbians, right? They're also trying to take away rights from trans kids. In Texas this week, there was this whole thing about how trans parents are going to be considered child abusers. They can take the kids away from them and re-indoctrinate them, basically, to believe that there was only two genders. First of all, don't do that. That's evil, right? Right off the bat, that's some evil shit. Secondly, who are you to decide what that person wants to be in their lives? Who are you to decide that? That's garbage science. That's fucked up. And if Texas does this, and I think they're trying to, if Texas passes this bill, and by the way, it's getting really a lot of attention, a lot of negative attention. Georgia's just lost a movie this week because of their
Will Smith pulled out,
and he's not the only one. And New Jersey's trying to get people to come here, which is like fantastic. But the idea of someone deciding for you, first of all, how you can vote, that's dumb. You can't send your ballot being controlled, all that shit is wrong. And you're right about corporate America doing that. They're trying to say these guys are going out. Fuck them. These people that are coming in that want They want the police to be made more responsible. Get rid of whatchamacallit immunity for the police. Places that want there to be, I don't know about more social justice, but fairness. When it comes to how people are treated. That entire idea from a younger generation, you're right, is coming up. I mean, I'm Generation X. You're Generation. I don't know if you're X. I think you're Y, right?
Yeah, I think I'm Y.
I think there's 12 years between us or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's all convoluted. They all start melding in.
You might be X because I was at the beginning of X.
Okay. So maybe at the
1967.
tail end of X.
Maybe. Oh, we'll look it up now.
You were a little tadpole at the time.
Gen X. People born between 1965 and 1979, 1980.
There you go.
Born.
1980.
There you go. You're the end of Generation X. The last of the
beginning.
X's.
The last of the Mohegans.
Yeah. My kids are millennials. Gen Y is millennial.
But whatever, the beautiful thing about it, doesn't matter what generation you are, it's all about the money. And that's what these corporations are all looking at. So we could say that they found, morality. It's all about the money, and they're seeing the demographics, and they're seeing where the money is coming and who's going to be spending. That's it. So that's why we're having this discussion about New York Times getting, pages brought out by corporations talking about voting rights, because that's what's on the table. They know that's what the kids want. We'll give them what the kids want as long as they buy our product. It's very capitalist system, capitalistic society.
But they're right to do that. They're right to stand up for it because it makes them first of all. Why do you want anybody like one faction to control the government?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why do you want the Republicans to be that deep in the pockets of government? Like that's not a good idea. Neither is the Democrats being all that deep either. I think there needs to be cycles, right? I think that right now we're in a cycle of change. We had a know nothing, do nothing government for 4 years. And we have a guy who's actually trying to do things and trying to change things and all that other shit. And it's refreshing, right? Except he's boring, as Cornyn said this week. He doesn't tweet very much. His tweets are boring. And
he was the same guy that when they would ask him about tweets, he was like, "I don't read the tweets. I don't have time to read the tweets."
Right.
And
his tweets are boring. Fuck that
Come
asshole.
on.
Cornyn was on NPR this morning talking about trying to get civics back into schools, and I was like, that would blow up in your face, brother.
Good luck with that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for it. Civics should be in school.
I agree.
But Cornyn, really? He said that who's the person who's in charge of the press secretary?
Starts with a P. That girl, the woman.
Yeah.
The redhead.
Cool. She's cool, man.
She's been doing it for a while. She was under Obama's, I think,
Psaki.
press corps for a while. Yeah, Psaki. She was under Obama's press corps for a while.
Yeah,
so she knows what's going on. She knows the game.
But she's owning them though.
Right.
She's fucking owning them. They were like, Cornyn was like, what you say about Cornyn is boring. She was like, well, he doesn't tweet bullshit or conspiracy.
He doesn't spend his day tweeting instead of
Next
right.
question.
Yeah, right.
And she does it like really deftly, like like they were talking about what's her name, the vice president in Chicago. She's in charge of this, and she stopped for some cookies. It was like, well, people. She's a person, and people get hungry, and she got a snack.
Right.
Next question.
Right. Right. Like, what are we talking about here?
What about this outrage about somebody doing this thing? It's like, oh yeah. Or better yet, the newest thing is that the infrastructure bill only has 6% infrastructure because it only spends that much money on roads, that percentage on roads. And Buttigieg was like, yeah, infrastructure like everything else in the world that we run on, like public transportation and electrical grid, so we can have electric cars. And like he ran all this shit up,
Right.
The internet is a part of the infrastructure, and people were like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Because infrastructure is anything that helps you on a daily basis function and survive. It's not just about an airport or a road. It's about everything that encompasses that helps us get through the daily life at this point.
And what is government? Government's whole purpose is to make sure I don't die as much as possible, and to
Right.
make sure that I can get from point A to point B and pursue my freaking happiness. That's your whole job, government. That's your whole
Right.
job. You know,
Right.
not making money for that guy. Not triple down economics, all that bullshit. Keep me alive and make sure I can pursue my happiness, whatever the fuck that is. I'm
Right.
not a danger to society. Take away my guns, all of them. Take all the guns away. That's right. That's it. Remember, militias are supposed to be regulated. A well-regulated militia. There is no regulation in militias right now in any part
No,
of the
you're
country,
right.
because
Right.
states should be passing laws that say, "Hey, you're a militia. You're only allowed to work in this area, and you can only have this many guns, and you got to weigh at least less than 350 pounds, so you can't be in the militia. Sorry, you got to lose some weight. Lose some weight. Eat kale." Uh,
that was that was part of the Constitution. They got to
Yeah,
eat kale to be
gotta
part
eat
of
kale. Gotta eat
it.
Or as Patrick Stewart said, "We gave kales to the cows." He talks like this now. He used to talk very forcefully. Now he's kind of talking. It's like, Patrick Stewart, yeah, where are you?
People change in their older age. You change. You
I'm
become a little
old
more.
now. He's like 80. Fucking guy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he
Jesus
looked
Christ.
80 when he was like 40. He looked 80. He just had that older kind of
I'm
look
the
to him.
data. Yeah. There's a thing that said that Patrick Stewart saying data that way changed the way we said data. We say data, but now we say data because of Patrick Stewart.
Is that true? I can see that.
Isn't that
It
interesting?
was very it was very iconic for a while.
You think we don't have the news or interesting stories because we want to talk about pocketbook? No, I just taught you something. Look it up.
Right.
I taught you that Patrick Stewart makes us say data now.
The
Data,
man is on the pulse. He's on the
Data.
pulse.
not data. Data. Um, what else are we gonna do? Matt Getz, superheroes,
We ran the gambit. We ran the
and the
gambit.
Gambit, Star Wars.
So the new. Did you see that link I sent you about Star Wars about on the 4th? They're gonna have that new show, that kind of like Robot
Right,
Chicken type of show.
right. So is it a Robot Chicken show?
No, no, it's the guys who kind of created it, kind of thing. I think
Yeah. So
coming
what
to.
happened was there was all these Star Wars shows that were happening, over the course of the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
From the prequels on. Diddy Tartarsky, Star Wars, Clone Wars thing, and all this other stuff. And it was lost to whatever, because where are they going to put it? Like,
Yeah.
they run out of their license and they can't show them anymore. So, like the Ewoks and droids and all those shows and stuff that happened over the course of the last 20 years. So Disney owns all that now, and they made a new section of the Disney Plus channel called like Star Wars Archives or Star Wars Ancient, and there's a new show, Star Wars.
Because this is Disney basically saying, let's bring all this stuff out so we can get all the old school people really into it and just get them to subscribe. Once again, it's all about the money, folks.
And that's fine. I mean, if Star Wars shows, full episodes, Disney Now, Star Wars on Disney Plus, StarWars.com. Let me see. Star Wars on Disney Plus. I mean, there's a lot of shows now. The Bad
Yeah,
Batch is coming. Oh my God, get ready.
Yeah, Bad Batch. Yeah.
Bad Batch, Mandalorians.
It's crazy because just a few years ago, Star Wars fans were like, craving for the movies to come out, craving for certain shows to come out. And now it's like, now with Disney, it's just left and right. Things are coming at you left and right. You just don't have time to keep up at this point. It's crazy.
I find all my time. I find all the time to keep up with it. I have all the time I need. Oh, look at that Darth Maul pop. That's cool. Pop bobblehead. What? Don't
Yeah.
like Darth Maul. So there's all these shows on Disney Plus.
Really? You didn't like Darth Maul?
Huh?
You didn't like how they killed him a little too fast, in my opinion?
Well, he's not dead.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. In the movie, in the first one, in the prequels. You amped him up.
Yeah, he does this. Like he introduces like Boba Fett too. Hey, Boba Fett's coming. Boba Fett. Well, Boba Fett, and then he's dead by the middle of Jedi.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but people are like, why? Why'd you do that to Boba? Then now he's back.
Right.
Boba's back again. Now you know. Tell a friend. What was back? What was back? What was back?
One of the things I hated the most from that first movie was I wanted them. Remember when they were in the desert in Tatooine and they kind of see each other for the first time and they kind of just like look at each other and then he jumps on the spaceship and goes away. I'm like, fight! This is what got me. Like, don't give me 3 hours of them going around in a desert, going around in a pod chase. Fight, dude! Blow something up in that scene. Do something crazy.
Well, he
Instead
did.
of going around for 3 hours.
He had a little Sith mobile, a little motorcycle, and then he
Right.
took off. But what I thought was interesting was what they called him. First of all right. So I hated that first movie. I hated that movie.
Of course.
I took my son, a baby, to that movie thinking, Star Wars for you, my son. And I was like,
my gift to you. If I could give you anything in life.
This is a piece of shit. I'm sorry, kid. For you. I was thinking Empire Strikes Back. I got garbage. But what was interesting about that is Darth Maul was the most interesting thing in that fucking movie.
I agree.
You know, very similar. You know, very powerful Sith Lord
Right.
or Sith whatever apprentice. You know, and the two best things about that movie was Qui-Gon Jinn
Yeah.
and Obi-Wan.
Right.
Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn. No faults in them. They were the two most interesting thing in that movie. Everything else was kind of like shit in the background. What the hell? Oh. My landlord's turning on his fucking Corvette.
Is that true?
That's his Corvette.
We know where your rent money's going.
Oh no, it's a guy with a motorcycle. Sorry. What?
We know where your money's going to the Corvette.
He has like fucking 4 cars. That guy. He's on fire. So yeah, so I love Qui-Gon Jinn, and they kill him, and you're like, oh, all right. We still got Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan was my favorite thing in all those movies.
Yeah.
You know, because you know he's and now that we have the Obi-Wan show coming up, oh shit. So I'm very happy with my Disney Plus Hulu $20 a month.
Right.
You know, I don't have no problem with that. I just like. I was talking to somebody about that recently. I was like, "Well, how much was cable?" I said, "Cable without my modem was like $150 a month."
Right.
So
Well, how they're getting you now is they're jacking up the internet now because they realize people are jumping off of it, and that's how they're grabbing people now.
Well, I mean, they're jacking it up, but it's okay. I'll spend money on a cable on a modem,
Right.
because at the end of the day, I got more channels than I need right now.
It's infrastructure. It's part of the infrastructure.
Exactly. But I got more channels than I need. I got like I can watch. I don't have to watch live TV. If I want an antenna, I can throw an antenna out the window.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Or get an.
Or you could get it through. You could get it through Hulu, right? You could get it through Hulu and get the live TV.
Yeah, but it's like
package.
64.
I mean, it's a little more money. Yeah.
Local TV is 64. It's like cable. It's basically cable for Hulu.
Yeah.
So you get TNT and TBS and local channels and shit. But I'm not paying another $64 because I have the internet and I have my phone. And if I want to watch, you know, I have Roku, and if I want to watch local news, I'll put on my Roku local news thing and watch the same thing flip over 5 times. You should have a Today Show channel. I don't know why you don't.
I think they do, but they kind of limit it to that Peacock area, if I'm right. They're trying to.
Yeah, and I have Peacock. I have free Peacock, which is Peacock with you know commercials.
Commercials, yeah.
That's fine. Now I have all the NBC shows.
Right.
So there's that. I mean, you know, that between Netflix and my Hulu and Disney Plus and HBO Max, do I need anything else?
I agree.
I mean, I listen to NPR. I throw them some bucks. I got a PBS thing. I throw them some bucks. I think they get like $5 a month or something like that. Or
you get a free tote bag at the end of the year. That's all good.
Keep your fucking mugs in your tote bags. So I want to say one more thing about you live in New York City. I'm very excited for you. Who are you going to vote for in the mayoral election?
It's so
Andrew Yang. I know. I know it's Yang.
I'm part of the Yang gang. I'm part of the Yang gang.
Gang.
I'm part of the Yang gang. Look, I'll say this because of of the whole Newsom thing. I was listening to something about, how they're coming after Newsom to try to, like, petition him out of office. I felt the same. I feel the same way for De Blasio. Unless these guys, I'm not a fan of De Blasio in any capacity, but he was voted in by the people. So unless this guy does something illegal or, immoral, or does something where, it's like some kind of crime, there are checks and balances. You know what I'm trying to say? And even within the local governments. And it's basically, you have to have a check and balances on these guys, and you have to unfortunately ride these things out. So now that this guy's leaving, we've gone from bad to where you can't get any worse than this guy. So if the Yang Gang has ideas and the Yang Gang's coming up with different, philosophies, we're at a point where we have to listen to it, because New York City needs, to recover and needs to grow. And we have to go into the, out of the 19th century where we've been stuck in for a while when it comes to, economy and the way. So if somebody has an idea on that, why not? That's what I
have. Reason why I like Yang. The two reasons. The two big reasons is he doesn't give a fuck about the police. He doesn't care. He's like, fuck you, you've killed too many people. Like, he said that. He's like, fuck the police, thank you. So one. Two, he talks about money and this political structure of the city very differently than Bloomberg and de Blasio.
Right.
So he has no fear. Like, he has money. You don't want to give me any money? I'm just running on mine. And that's what Bloomberg did. But he's not a rich white guy. Like let's face it here. De Blasio is a wishy-washy jerk because he wanted to make sure he was running, and this
he wanted to be loved. He was another Trump, just a different kind of Trump. He wanted to be loved by everybody.
Wishy-washy jerk. He gave the police too much, right? The police union in New York City, by the way, they should have shut their mouths and not said anything about Trump, because it hurt Trump.
Right.
When police unions pushed Trump, it hurt him. Because after a year of police killing people, by the way, that wasn't a taser. The fuck's wrong with this lady?
Crazy. Crazy. It is crazy. She quit, by the way. She quit the force.
She quit, and they put her up for second-degree manslaughter today. They arrested her.
It's crazy.
But that's all part of the plan. It's like, all right, we're going to have to arrest you. Second-degree manslaughter. Maybe you'll do a year or two. It's fine. Don't worry. Right. But it's this woman she's that woman, the woman that killed that guy because she thought she had a taser in his hand. And you hear the video? Did you hear it?
Yeah.
The audio was like, hey, taser, blam! Oh, I killed him. I shot him. And I'm like, you shot him.
Right. No remorse.
Why they even did he get out of his car to get tased? Why did they even tase him? I don't get it. I don't understand what he did. They pulled him over. He was like, yeah, Mom, it's going to be fine. Taser, what? Blam. It's like, what? Like, I didn't do anything.
You also saw that video of that military guy that got pulled over.
Oh, that was sad.
It's crazy.
Sad. I'm afraid to get out of the car. I'm afraid of what's going to happen.
Right.
That should never come out of anybody's mouth when it comes to the police.
Especially military personnel.
And that's... Guy's in military greens. He's in his camos. They're gonna shoot him. What the fuck is wrong with these guys? And both of those guys, by the way, they're gonna get fired. Because Amir was like,
probation?
Huh?
When they put on probation, I read somewhere or something.
I think they're gonna get fired though.
Yeah.
The thing is that these guys, these cops, right? First of all, if you turn off your body camera, you're fired. Oh, you turn off your body camera? You're fired.
Right. The body camera is there for a reason, guy.
No, you're fired. What? No, you don't turn off the body camera. You're fired.
It's to protect both.
I'm going to talk to my union. Your union's fired too. We're firing your union. So I'm very interested in seeing what happens with Andrew Yang. I think that he's talking about money. He's talking about people. He's talking about resources very differently. Yeah, he's talking about a need in New York to be different, to do different things. And there's a lot of older rich people in New York City, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I'm sorry, I don't have a producer, folks.
Right. I thought you were giving a shout out to Planet Hollywood for a second there.
I got this hat when I went to Disney at a bargain bin. So I went to Disneyland, to Disney World, back in the 2005, 2006.
Right.
And there's like if you go to downtown Disney, there's like all these stores, and every once in a while you
It's
go to
not called Downtown Disney anymore, by the way.
what? What's it called now?
Not called that. It's not called. It's like Coronado Springs or something like that.
No, Coronado Springs is a
It
hotel.
it's some kind of spring thing because the last time I went to Disney, I was waiting for Downtown Disney bus for about an hour, and I realized, oh, there is no more Downtown Disney. So I missed my trip to Downtown Disney because of that.
Disney
It's
Springs.
something it's Disney Springs, yeah.
Disney
And I was like,
Springs.
"Where's Downtown Disney? Where is the Downtown Disney bus? How come it's not coming?"
How come nobody told you that though? That's the other thing. I find it really interesting. They don't fucking tell you shit. Like
No, you're on
Disneyland-
your own at Disney.
Yeah.
You are on your own.
The best thing about Disneyland, is when if you buy tickets to stay on the resort, right? You
Yeah.
get a bus that takes you to Disney World. Sorry. You get a bus. Have you ever been on the bus?
Yeah, yeah. From the airport to
video.
Disney or something?
Huh?
Right.
You get a video that
You
tells
mean
you,
when
about the resort.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
exactly.
blah. Next stop, so and so, where you can do blah blah blah, and you can blah blah this and blah. It's great when you have little kids to stay on the resort.
Yeah.
Once you're older, fuck that.
Yeah. Right,
Oh,
right. It's true.
Let's get it. Let's
Right,
get a
sure.
condo.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
In Orlando proper and rent a car because I'm going to everything. I'm going to go
Yeah.
to see Universal Studios, and I'm going to go to Disney, but I only want to go one place.
Yeah.
Uh,
But if you got like a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, like it's great because they will accommodate everything for you,
Everything,
and the
yeah.
kids will get everything they need, so you don't have to worry about it, which is
plus,
great.
plus you get up in the morning, you get breakfast at the resort. You don't have to worry
Right,
about
right.
that shit.
Right.
Like they'll make you your Disney waffle.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I agree. They had that down to science when it comes
All the
to
food
kids
is
part
all
of
the
it.
food at the park sucks. Well, the food at the park is okay. The water sucks. The water water bottles
yeah.
are like $4 each or whatever. So,
Right. And don't eat the turkey legs. I'm not a turkey.
Oh
leg
my
guy.
god, I can't even watch that.
So carnivorous when you see
Disgusting.
people eating it.
But then what's great is you'll see people eat a turkey leg and they'll rip off things, and then birds will eat the turkey leg. And it's fucking like cannibalism.
Right.
It's also nasty. It's just nasty.
Yeah, it just doesn't look appetizing to me at all.
So
I agree.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. You spend like $1,500, $2,000 to go down there, right?
In theory, yes.
In theory, no, that's how much it is. And the cheaper resorts, there's like we usually stay in the middle of the road ones. So I went to
Right,
I
right.
was in Colorado the first time I went to Colorado Springs, which is not a bad,
We like the Dolphin resorts.
the Dolphin's nice.
Yeah, we like
A little
those.
better than Colorado Springs, I'll tell you that much. Coronado Springs. But we've gone to Disney World. I've gone to Disney World with my family 3 times, which is something I
Yeah.
never expected to do
Yeah.
because Dominicans don't go to Disney World.
No, it's not part of the DNA. No.
No. ¿Pa qué? ¿Qué? But as an immigrant, as a immigrant, Americanized immigrant, I wanted to go.
Right.
We went 3 times, and the first time we stayed at Coronado Springs. The second time we stayed at the other 2 resorts that are like Dixieland
Oh, yeah, yeah. Right.
and the
Kind of like the
one that's in the swamp.
yeah. I know this. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The Venture, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Frontier, whatever.
Frontierland. Yeah.
Um, I gotta look
That
it
was
up
it.
again and see what's up.
Your Daniel Boone phase.
Anyway. I wanted to go. The next time I wanted to go was the Disney Animal Kingdom.
I stood at
Dolphin
Animal
resorts,
Kingdom
you
once. I
like
stood
Animal
at. Yeah, we've done that. But the Animal Kingdom we did once, which is cool. You like wake up and you pull the drapes and you see like giraffes outside of
Yeah.
your house. But that gets kind of boring because like you're in the parks, you're not hanging out seeing giraffes all day long. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's the All-Star ones, the Art of Animation, the All-Star movies.
right.
I stayed at the Wilderness Lodge, and I stayed at Caribbean Beach, Wilderness Lodge. No, I didn't stay at Caribbean Beach. And
Caribbean Beach is nice.
Caribbean Beach, sorry. Colorado Springs.
Did you
which is
stay at
also
the
nice. We got
original?
the
Did you stay
pyramid.
at the original hotel? Do you ever stay at the original hotel, the one the train goes through?
No. You?
No, I don't. I don't plan on it.
Well, you're gonna go to Hogwarts this year, right?
You got to do. But see, this is the thing. The last time I went to Disney was 2 years ago, 2 Christmases ago, 2 Christmases ago, and that was the worst experience of my life because it's you. I'm expecting Christmas. I'm expecting something grand and adventurous and it's the same thing as going in, September. There's no real difference except they throw a little bit of snow around. There's no difference to it. So you're dealing with massive amounts of people
Yeah.
just to spend Christmas there. And I mean, we went right after Christmas, but I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Always
Like,
go.
there's no point.
You always go second week of September. Why?
Right.
Because nobody's fucking there. Everybody's going. Everybody took their kids starting school. They're worried about that. I was like, you're gonna go to school the first week, and the second week we're going to Disneyland. All right, yeah, that's right. That's what we're doing. Make sure you get all your homework. You get it back when you get back. Fuck that. And that's when you go. Or we went July 4th weekend, and it wasn't bad. Like, it was crazy, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Went July 4th weekend one year. We went like my birthday. It was the week of October 6th. Perfect. Nobody was there.
Right.
And then we went. Next time we went like late, like not late, like August, but it wasn't like early August. Like people were just deciding. So it was good,
Well, because a lot of people in Florida go back to school in August, so you only get like a certain amount of people and stuff.
Yeah, fuck you.
Right.
Yeah, but I want to go to MGM. I want to go to MGM. We were talking about doing that, going to MGM.
MGM is good, yeah.
MGM Studios. It's not MGM Studios anymore. It's Disney Studios. They got rid
Disney Studios, yeah, right. But that's one of my favorites.
No, I mean Universal. I would love to go to Universal Studios. We were talking about going to Universal Studios.
Yeah. That's what we got to do, right?
With you, with the children's.
As you saw in my Hogwarts shirt that I posted on Instagram.
You look great, by the way.
That was my Harry Potter thing.
Brown Harry Potter. Brownie Potter.
Right. Brownie Potter.
We talked about Matt Getz. We talked about the voting thing. We talked about the other voting thing. We talked about how the Republicans have no ideas. They don't. Corporations and how they're losing their shit about how the Republicans.
Disney. I think we covered the gamut. We got Disney involved.
Thing.
Yeah.
Seeing the 6% thing, and Biden's pulling out of fucking Afghanistan on September 11th. God damn.
Right.
And I think he's right. Here's the thing, though. I think he's right to do it. You know why? Because we can bomb people from wherever we're at. We don't need people on the ground.
Right.
Send a drone. Oh, yeah? We're sending a drone.
Obama used the drone. Obama basically put the blueprint on how to use the drone.
I know that people don't like Obama's use of drones because it killed children and stuff, and I understand that. I know that drone strikes are dangerous. I know that.
Yeah.
But the Taliban, if you could blow them up from space, fucking do that. Because fuck those assholes. Seriously.
Right.
Or a specific team, like, teams that get dropped by helicopter into a place and then mop that shit up and get the fuck out. I'm all for that too. Forget Navy the Humvees. SEALs. Let's get people off the ground. I don't want them in. We lost. Look, Afghanistan's a problem. No one wins in that place. Nobody wins. Yeah. Okay. They're really, they know how to fight. We are just,
and they got nothing. And they got nothing but time. They got nothing but time because nothing else to do out there. They got nothing but time.
They'll arm everybody. So Russians lost it. We shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Should have been in Iraq either, but
right. Who knew?
That's the thing. So he's pulling everybody out. I'm okay with it. I mean, when I didn't like there's an army that's going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be in Afghanistan. But there's a bunch of people. There's armies there. We can send anyone and everywhere. We have helicopters. We have all this stuff. We need to start thinking about how better to manage that part of the world. If we are going to manage it, I don't even think we should. It's none of our business.
Right.
We should pull the fuck out, and we should do what SEAL Team 6, drone strike, shit like that.
Right.
By the way, do you think Biden's going to go after?
Bring back Chuck Norris. Bring back Chuck Norris. Man.
Yeah, check with that asshole. Do you think that Biden is going to have his Justice Department go after the guy with all those people that were pardoned?
See, I think Biden is worried about looking too political. So I don't think he wants to go after the Trump world. I think he's hoping that these kind of guys either disappear or dissolve, or I can work with them in factions. I think he's afraid of looking too political and looking like the bad guy.
Why is he afraid of looking too political? And Trump didn't give a fuck.
I no, I agree. I agree.
Go after these guys. They're villains. We need to prosecute villains. By the way, Trump had a big thing at Mar-a-Lago this weekend, which is not actually his residence. He doesn't live there.
He's not supposed to be there more than like 2 weeks a year.
Yeah.
By law.
But I think he found it. I don't know what the deal is. I don't care. We had a big thing for all his friends. They came down, and he basically just took a shit on a whole lot of GOP senators. And
yeah.
I can only imagine he doesn't understand. Like, if you're going to go after people to put a crazier person in there, what you're going to do is you're going to split the vote.
Yeah. Right.
And then you're going to get a Democrat in that chair. Because it happened a few times. And progressive Democrats are crazy. They're like, yeah, defund the police. I'm all for that. And then I even said it like, you want to defund the police? Yes. Is this thing on? Right. Yes, I said that. I want to defund the police. Anything else? What else you got? You're just going to defund the police? Yeah, I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. Qualified immunity? It's dead. You hire me? Dead. That means that cops can't just kill you in the streets.
So you and Andrew Yang just break it up. Just start all over.
That's a new thing now. I think that Andrew Yang actually has a lot of good ideas, and I think that Cuomo trying to save his ass. By the way, have you noticed that all that Cuomo shit has died down?
I know.
He wrote it out. There's people like, gonna check him out. Yeah, you should check me out. Find out what's going on with that shit. I don't know what's happening. And everything got real quiet all of a sudden.
Because Matt Gaetz came along and everybody.
Came along.
Like, that's what it was, right?
But it's interesting because like Cuomo put his arm around me on Tuesday while we were having chicken at his house, and he said that I had a nice dress. I'm not making fun of any of this stuff. I'm saying that there seems to be a lot of things that came out all at once about Mario Cuomo. I think that he should definitely be investigated, and this is not funny. Okay, there's people that just feel like people should just forget about it. I think he should be investigated. I think that anybody who's that comfortable with power should not be in government. How about that? Like that one? You know,
with great power comes great responsibility.
That's right. Look at Spider-Man. How many people had to die for him to get the fucking message? You know, Uncle Ben, fucking his best friend's dad. Jesus.
Why are we going out on a sad note, unfortunately?
Let's pick it up. So what's good? What's good this weekend? What's happening this week? First of all, Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I know it's scary. Six women specifically got blood clots out of the 3 million that were vaccinated. Listen, I get it. It's scary, whatever. I would not have pulled the vaccine.
No, you wouldn't have put a pause. They're doing the pause because they don't want people to start freaking out. I mean, you know how it is. They want it
freaking out anyway.
I agree. But if you pause it and then you come back, let's say, like Fauci said,
now we know why.
It's not gonna be months. It's gonna be weeks tops. Then you can say, hey, this is what it was. Be careful with A, B, and C, and then you can.
No, I agree. I agree. The tests are and Pfizer just said, oh, you know what? 50% more vaccine. How about that? Boom. Oh, Johnson Johnson's kind of falling off. We're here with you. We're here for you. 50% more vaccine. Right. So, I mean,
I've always been afraid of Johnson & Johnson ever since that talk incident a couple years back.
That train ain't stopping. The vaccination train ain't stopping. We're up to 200,000. We're up to what? 100 million, 150 million already?
Yeah, people are jumping on the boat when it comes to it.
People that aren't fucking crazy ass old Republicans are. Vaccinations in U.S. But the other thing is that the variants are very dangerous.
Yeah, right. I mean, this is going to be an ongoing thing. We're not going to end this in the next 6 months, but it just gives us time until we can find out phase 2 of this vaccine, basically.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's
which is what scares people, which is why kind of certain people aren't jumping toward also forget about the anti-vaxxers for a second. The other people who don't want it, they're basically like, hey, in a year from now, we're gonna probably do another shot. So why do I take one now when I can just wait a year from now? So I mean,
Uh, I
that's
I
their argument.
I I don't know about that, man. I don't think it's a good
That's
idea.
their argument, though. That's their
It's a dumb
argument.
argument. 19.9% of the country's population as of
That's a lot in about 2, 3 months. That's a lot.
Biden was fucking serious. He wasn't fucking
Right.
around. He said 1 million people before and he almost got two. So
Right.
we're looking at 300 million people in the United States.
Yeah.
We can make that before the end of the summer.
Yeah.
If I mean, there are states that are almost done.
Yeah.
West
Yeah.
Virginia is almost done because of how they handle the vaccine, their population, their real population. They just sent everything to the drugstores, so
Right.
that made sense. It's there's a lot of great news coming out of this stuff. I mean, I got vaccinated immediately.
All I know is Universal's right around the corner thanks to the vaccine. That's
Let's
how
go.
it works.
Let's go. Are you
Alright.
gonna get
So anything else?
when they say it's safe?
I've never been opposed to the vaccination process in any capacity. I mean, there's a reason why my kid doesn't have polio. So hey, that's what I look at.
I
You know
say
what I'm
that
saying?
all the time. I say can't wait till somebody in your family gets polio because you're stupid. I listen.
Right.
I'm not. I don't want anybody to get hurt. Okay, I don't want anybody to get hurt. But maybe if you don't know how to skateboard, don't try the ollie. Right?
Yeah.
Right out
Right,
the bat,
close to
don't
it.
try the ollie. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, don't do it. Anti-vaxxers are dumb as fuck. They're just stupid motherfuckers. And I'm sorry, they're dumb. You know, and people who act as if they know what they're talking about, they don't know what they're talking about. Pick up a. I told you, right, and I say this again and again. Doctors are dumb. You know what they did? They memorized shit. You want to learn how
Right.
to fucking if you want to whatever ails you, there's books in the library that'll give you the most interesting. You can get online and get all that information. If you want to know how to save yourself from whatever disease you have, read everything that's out there, and you will
Right.
you won't be certified as a doctor, but you'll know just as much as fucking them. Lorenzo's Oil. Have you ever seen this movie?
Yes.
It's about
Yes.
a guy, about a couple who had seizures, and they were like, "Well, what seems to stop the seizures? Oil. Well, let's fucking figure out what oil this is." And they figured it out, and it's a tincture of various oils, percentages of oils that made Lorenzo stop having seizures, and he has it every day,
Right.
and he's fine. So how did they figure it out? They're not doctors. They just fucking put shit together. And most people, have that kind of thing. They can fucking put things together. You can put facts together. You can figure things out. You don't need
Right.
to be a doctor to solve stuff for you. Now that being said, you need to base your ideas on fucking science.
On facts. No, on facts.
Not,
It has to be
not
facts.
what
I
this
agree.
guy told me on my fucking YouTube video. By the way, this is a YouTube video.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Get
Right.
out of here.
Right.
Anyway. All right.
On that note, get out of here.
Get out of here. All you people. Get out of here. Last week we did You Got the Touch, and it was really hilarious. And I feel like I want to let you end that. Good night,
was a
folks.
Very emotional
Miss
time
America.
last week.
Huh?
It was a very emotional
You
ending.
got the touch. We were talking about movies and shit. Let me tell you all right, I'll leave on this is not a high note, but this is dumb as hell. So, when I was a kid, Close Encounters of the Third Kind was coming out.
Great movie, yes.
Yeah. And I was telling my mom, the kids are screaming in the back.
Yeah. This
Movie,
is
Mom, I
witching.
can't
It's the
wait.
witching hour. It's the witching
Can't
hour.
wait. Yeah. Everybody's going to bed. Can't wait. Got to see this movie. And my mom was like, and I couldn't stop talking about Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I couldn't stop talking. Couldn't wait till that Wednesday when we get in the theater. My mother was like, "You gonna let me go, right, Mom? You gonna let me go?" She said, "Look, if you fucking say one more word about this movie, you're not gonna fucking see it. You're not seeing it. I don't want. Shut up." And I had to get real quiet for 4 days until the movie came out, and I got my dollar. Went to the dollar movie theater to check it out. It was really funny. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Put the fear in them.
If you say any more things about this movie, you're not gonna see it. Yeah. That's right. The hand motion. Do the hand motions on your way home.
Right.
Boop, 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 boop. Make mashed potato towers when you get home with the mashed potatoes. What are you doing? Nothing.
That was a great scene. That's actually a great scene when he's at the dinner table and his kids are looking at him like he's flipping out. You know, what's great about those Spielberg movies.
It's 8 kids.
What's great about those Spielberg movies, he always had a character that you could relate to because it didn't matter if he was white, but you knew somebody like that. You knew somebody that was so crazy enough that would just like be messing with the mashed potatoes or flipping. You knew a guy that like
all the ET kids
gonna take it. Yeah, all the ET kids.
All the ET kids, the mashed potatoes.
They were regular guys.
Sala from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Something's not right. Right.
How many people you know who'd sing whatchamacallit songs? Whatchamacallit? What is Project? Fuck.
Project what?
What song does Sala sing in Raiders? British Tar from Gilbert and Sullivan. You know people who sing Gilbert and Sullivan.
Exactly.
Sure.
Genius movies.
British Tar is all right.
Right.
I gotta listen to it. They used it. That particular song was used in Indiana Jones and also in Star Trek Insurrection. I mean,
yes,
not a Star Trek. No, the Star Trek movie.
Yeah. The one with the Klingons, no? No.
It was the one where Data goes crazy, and they have to help him reprogram.
That's right.
It wasn't Insurrection. Insurrection was it was Insurrection.
Yes.
Star Trek Insurrection.
Yes.
Right. I was right.
You're right. You're always right.
No, I ain't. All right, folks. That's the end of the show. Taught you some shit. Yeah. Do the hand motion. Do the hand motion for Yar. For Yar. What's his name? Yang. Andrew Yang. The Yang Gang. All right.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, folks. Have a good one. We're ending this thing now.